This is an area that a lot of people avoid. Dealing with your emotions the right way. People like to avoid the hard work and healing. And I understand. I mean, everything moves fast in this life that you can get so caught up that you're not addressing certain emotional pain, emotional damage, emotional trauma that has occurred over the years, and they can affect you. We need to be honest with ourselves. You can set all the goals, have all the planners, you can dress the part, you can pray every day, but if you haven't dealt with your emotions the right way, you are building on a broken foundation. You're building on a cracked foundation. In this video, we're going to be dealing with how you can sort out all of the pain, all of the trauma, all of the emotional damage that you've endured over the years. We're going to be talking about how you can deal with those things, all right? So stay tuned. One of the first steps to healing your emotional wounds is to first acknowledge that they are there in the first place. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to acknowledge the fact that you have wounds, that you may have trauma. And I'm going to use myself as an example. Until recently, I wasn't aware that I had so much trauma from my past. I had so much trauma from my childhood and my upbringing and things that occurred in my childhood that I hadn't dealt with. Things that I thought I had healed from that I hadn't really healed from. And so these things take a lot of honesty with yourself to be able to deal with. You need to be honest. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to be reflecting on what has happened in your life. Are there some friendships that ended badly? Are there some relationships that ended badly? Are there people that betrayed you? Was there abuse in your childhood? Was there a wrong way that you were brought up? Were there things that happened? Were there things that happened that you haven't fully processed? You need to process those things. Avoiding them won't erase them. And in fact, the more that you suppress those things, the more that you suppress the things that happen, the more they gain control over you. You need to deal with your pain so that you don't transmit it to the world, or you don't transmit it in whatever you're doing, right? The second step, or the second way that you're going to deal with your emotional issues, you're going to deal with your emotions and get proper emotional well-being, is to recognize that forgiveness is a release to you. Forgiveness is a gift that you give yourself. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you are approving what happened, but you're releasing yourself. I want you to know, if you've ever been in any situation that has hurt you, if you've ever been hurt before, I want you to know that just because you were hurt doesn't mean that you're foolish or that you're weak. When you keep carrying resentment, it's like you're drinking poison and you're expecting the other person to die out of it, but you're the one harming yourself. Forgiving the people that hurt you doesn't mean that what they did was okay. It just means that you don't want to carry that burden anymore. It just means that you want to let go of the power that that thing has on you, the power that that pain has on you, the power that that damage has on you. You want to let it go and you want to give it to God. And you want to trust that God will deal with the situation. You want to prioritize yourself and prioritize your mental health. You want to prioritize your emotional well-being and put yourself first. You want to give yourself the best. So when you're forgiving others, you're basically unlocking your peace when you're forgiving others, all right? And you're releasing yourself to move forward in life. So forgiveness is really, really important. Think of the people that offended you, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends. Reflect on those things that happened and let them go. Set them free in your heart. Forgive them in your heart. There are some people that will never be able to apologize to you, probably because they are no longer living. What are you going to do about that? You can't expect an apology from the dead, but you're alive and you need to move on with your life. You need to move forward with your life. So let those people go. Let those pains go. Let those hurts from those moments go. Know that it wasn't your fault. You probably didn't know better, or you were not in control of the situation, or you couldn't control the situation. Another thing that you need to really take notice of if you're going to deal with your emotions the right way is to study your triggers. There are some people that certain situations just trigger them and they get so angry and they get so offensive. If you realize these things about you, you need to learn from them. You need to let them teach you. Why did you get so offended when this person did this to you? Why did you get so offended when this person said this to you? Why did you get so angry at this situation? There's usually a reason for that anger, especially when it's unexplained or it's something that normal people would not react the way you reacted. You need to learn from those triggers. You need to learn from when someone else is experiencing something and you are so offended by it. You need to learn, why is this so? Is there something hidden that I'm not dealing with? Because usually that's the case. There's something hidden. There's something that probably happened to you that makes you weary of that situation, that makes you angry at that situation that you haven't dealt with, and it's manifesting in the form of anger or offense. So you need to watch your triggers and learn from them and reassess yourself. Another thing you need to really think about is the fact that healing is very spiritual. It's not just a physical thing. It's very, very spiritual, and you can't heal alone. You need God in the process. You need to involve God in the process of your healing. And God is the ultimate healer. God is the source of all joy. He's the source of all strength. And so when you're going on your healing journey, you need to know that He's there for you. God is personal, and God wants you to have peace of mind. He wants you to experience joy in your life. He wants you to thrive. He wants you to have dominion. You can't have dominion if you are struggling emotionally. You can't have dominion if you are not healed. So these are things that God is concerned about. And so you need to involve Him in the process. You need to pray about your journey. You need to pray about the things that bother you. Sometimes you just need to have a conversation, an honest conversation with God about the things that bother you, the things that other people have done to you or other people are doing to you that bother you. And you need to have conversations with God about them. And you feel a release in your soul when you do that. If you need to go through counseling, just to get some expert advice on particular situations, sometimes you need that higher authority or somebody who has experience in that area that you're struggling with. All right. So healing is not a lone journey. It shouldn't be a lone journey. First of all, involve God in the process. Involve people, involve credible people who you can trust. If you can get yourself in a community that loves you, that is willing to support you, get yourself in one, So you need God and you need people to be able to heal completely from whatever situation that you have dealt with in the past or you're dealing with currently. I also want you to know that seeking healing is a very mature decision. It's a very, very intentional decision. And so you going through the process is not a sign of weakness. No, it's actually a sign of maturity. It's actually a sign that you're mature spiritually and you're willing to get out of your comfort zone. You're willing to do things beyond the normal. You're willing to move forward with your life and to embrace all the goodness that life has to offer. You can't be intentional about your future if you're still bleeding from your past. You need to heal. And I hope that this video reminds you of the fact that your emotional well-being is very important. After watching this video, I just want you to take some moments, 5 minutes, just reflect on what are some of the things that you need to release? What are some of the things that you need to let go of? What are things that you haven't forgiven people about? If this video spoke to you, I want you to take a moment and just write down one thing you need to heal from. That's going to take some honest work, small steps. If you need to confront the person that hurt you, if you need to talk about it with somebody, there are certain things that you haven't spoken about with anybody, like there are secrets that you haven't shared with anybody. You probably need to talk about it. You probably need to open up and share with somebody. I really hope that this video blessed you and reminded you to take care of your emotions and to be more concerned about your emotional well-being. This has been day 26 of our 30 days to intentional living series. I hope this video blessed you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do well to subscribe. If you're new here, you're welcome. Go and watch all of our previous videos and give it a thumbs up if you like any of our videos. You can feel free to leave a comment if you enjoyed this video and you want to share anything that's on your heart. You can also send me a message in my email. I'm definitely open to responding. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.